got decisions to make here. B or C. Do I want to go canal or factory? I've got important shit going on here. Space Harrier. So I brought up Space Harrier in a video that I just recently did, and so I was thinking, well, why don't I pull it out and give it a shot? Since I don't think I played this for on my first plays, because it really wasn't sort of in that. It was later than the original stuff. That the classic stuff, right? The original stuff. There you go. Man of many words. That original thing stuff. That's my biggest problem here, is that I can see too clearly. Believe it or not. Oh, right. He says as he gets killed. So anyway, so I thought I would show you what I think I referred to this as Neverending Story. Charlie meets the Charlie in the Chocolate Factory kind of thing, and I don't know. It has that. Boy, I'm really gonna date myself here, but there's a old movie called Time Bandits, and for some reason this animation reminds me of an animation that they used in Time Bandits. I'm trying to get this. I remember this flying dragon guy, but again, this is one of those games that you just sort of played if you. All right, so I've got to continue, right? Here, I gotta continue. Oh, did I just give myself like a bunch of guys? Like the ultimate continue? See, the problem is I'm talking to you, and because and I'm also distracted by my brand new Boomer Dad hat. It only took us three months to get. Let's see. Order one Boomer Dad hat, get 2 smooch hats, and lots of apologies. But still never get your Boomer Dad hat until you actually have to order it again. So, buy one Boomer Dad hat, buy another Boomer Dad hat, get one. Period. Right? I don't think I'm. They're very comfortable hats. They're great hats. They're the all cloth with the real kind of thing in the back to adjust the size, not those plastic things and all of that mesh shit like they did to baseball caps back when they designed this game. So I'm not trying to accomplish anything here. I'm not even going to try to retroactively turn this into a challenge. That could be like a conspiracy, right? That could be like a tabloid thing, right? National Enquirer. Boomer Dad, the Boomer Dad, are those conspiracies? The Boomer Dad, what do they call it? I can't remember words anymore, which is probably a good thing, because words just get me into trouble. In fact, the only thing that makes me completely safe is absolute silence, which is impossible, according to my wife, even when I'm asleep. So I must be shooting this stuff that I can't see, because every explosion sort of fills up the screen, because every once in a while I actually run into one of these fucking mushrooms and it... Yeah, see, now I wish I hadn't given myself 8 lives. When it's real quarters, you don't go fill in that slot. Okay, so you can't hit these mushroom things. So so anyway, this type of animation, I'm not sure what they call it, and it's not the same type of animation that Blaster is, which is the game that I was blasting when I brought this up, because I said, if you want this kind of a game, this sort of 3D floating on whatever kind of vertical shooter, but you're kind of moving in, I don't know, space or whatever. I have no idea what I'm talking about anymore. But anyway, this was a game that so I should at least try to beat this. Okay, now there we go. I couldn't say it before I beat it. I said, don't make me have to continue just to beat this thing. But I've got 4 stages on this. It's not a terrible game. It's interesting if you like this kind of graphics, but this kind of graphics. If you like this kind of graphics, buy a Boomer Dad hat. I was talking about that too, right? And see, I blew my continue. All right, so I'm gonna, while I'm rolling here, I'm gonna pile onto let's get out of this by doing that, and let's go to the other one that I mentioned, which is Night Striker. Night Striker. This, I would say, even though it's kind of the same sort of graphics, and I don't know why is it 90s? Was it the 90s? Late 80s, early 90s? When they always had to do these little story, I guess they call them cinemas or I forget what they call them in video games, but the little openings that you just don't, we're like, put the quarter in and go out. I want to, I just don't give me some story set up like I'm going to think about it. I remember one time, you talk about bad stories. One time we went to Disney and we were at Epcot. Family went down to Disney. We were at Epcot. That's a Space Mountain. And I remember thinking, this is when I was like a kid. We've been since, but this is when I was the kid. Well, kid, I was in my maybe early teens, and so I was Space Mountain, and I was like, oh man, we're gonna be tooling around, and I'm gonna see all these things, and I'm gonna pretend that we're on a spaceship, and I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do that. Don't give me this story and all that stuff. I know you've got to give them something, Disney. I know you've got to give them something to do while they're standing in line for 2.5 hours. But I'm not thinking about some story or my navigator or my girlfriend at home. Oh shit, Molly's got a casserole in the oven. Oh, that's part of the story, right? Because she called me right before the shift to bitch about the casserole, and so don't be late. So that when I get late, because I'm trying to get hovering assholes like this off of the streets. I'm trying to make things safe for democracy, for all civilians. Molly and her casserole that's sitting on the table getting, I got decisions to make here. B or C. Do I want to go canal or factory? I've got important shit going on here. And Molly's worried about what time I'm going to be home for dinner. Honey, put it in the fridge. I'll microwave it when I get home. I've got a factory to save. Or I'm in the canal. I blew the factory. Okay. So this takes some tweaking, the controls on this, like everything else. When you first start playing it, first of all, they don't give you nearly enough ships or nearly enough lives. So if you can do that, you always correct that problem by maxing that shit out. Because we're not trying to get onto Twin Galaxies or impress anybody here. We're just playing. It's just fun. Ask my wife how fun it is when I'm screaming at this thing, which hardly ever happens. I mean, you've watched enough of this channel, my demeanor. For those of you who frequent this channel, and this isn't your first time, if it is your first time, thank you for staying this long. Please subscribe. If it's not your first time, thank you for returning. I hope I give you a reason to come back. And if you have not subscribed, please subscribe. I have to do all that stuff because I might forget to put the little squiggly things at the beginning somewhere. Because I used to put them at the end, and then I was like, well, if nobody watches the end of these things. But if you don't watch the end, how do you know how it ends? I don't clickbait this shit. I upload, I front load, I cold open with some of the best moments. E or F, okay, so do I want to... Okay, we're going to stay on the outside here. I remember you used to play this, so you can play that little game with yourself. I didn't play this... Okay, the little game that you play with yourself is the little game of Molly at the, with the pot roast or whatever she cooked that's currently dying, and then you're gonna get home and there's gonna be a candle, and it's gonna be all out. There's gonna be a little note, or Molly's gonna be sitting on the couch, just sitting there, just in time for her to say, oh, by the way, dinner was ready 4 hours ago, like it's not obvious, and then she goes to bed. All right, I'm not concerning that because I've got Blue Thunder like like times 17 here that I'm fighting. Roy Scheider's not around anymore to help me. So, and I'm sorry, Molly, I love you, but you know. And this is why so many people saving the world can't keep their marriages together. I mean, I'm doing important shit here. You know? Oh! It is kind of cool that both buttons shoot. So you can do that track and field pencil thing, but instead of having it needing a pencil to do it, you can actually just do it with two buttons instead of a pencil on either side of a button. My shield is critical here. Uh-oh. Can I get through it? I'm gonna try. Because I normally don't try. Boy, if you really applied yourself. Okay, so are we gonna stay on the outside? I don't have any shield though. Am I gonna get a shield up? See, now I'm wondering. See, I keep going further and further away, further on the outside. So anyway, this reminds me, I did play this when I was on the computer when I first found MAME on the website retrouprising.com. Wow, this is okay. And now I gotta do this and not hit that. All right. This is actually a pretty fun game. Actually, I have a lot of fun games. It's just every time I come to play my fun games, I start playing Robotron. And I can't record playing Robotron. You're not going to watch a channel that's just Robotron. So then I have to do this and play games that I actually really like. This is kind of a cool game. Even though I don't like these kind of games, I like this game because it's just mindless fun. And isn't that like the whole point of all of it? It's just mindless fun. Doesn't matter what kind of joysticks I'm using or what kind of mouse I'm using or the monitor or the fact that I'm blind and I have to take my readers off so that my screen is blurry enough to emulate that standard def look that I was used to, because when you see this stuff in high def, the shit's so sharp it doesn't even look right anymore. You know? It's not meant to be, 8-bit's not meant to be seen in high def. Let me tell you that. So anyway, if you are still with me, thank you very much. Leave a comment. I will reply. Thank you once again, and you have a fantastic day.